I've experienced this firsthand. I remember sitting across from someone I was dating and asking about their previous relationship. Their response? It was all their fault. They were impossible to deal with. At the time, I didn't think much of it. But as the weeks went by, little red flags started to surface. They never admitted to being wrong, avoided self-reflection, and blamed others for their problems. That's when it hit me. This wasn't just about their ex, it was a recurring pattern. That experience taught me an important lesson I want to share with you today. There's one powerful question you can ask to uncover someone's emotional maturity. What went wrong in your last relationship? The way they answer can reveal whether they've done the inner work or if you're stepping into a whirlwind of unresolved issues. Let's dive into this together, because understanding this could save you months or even years of heartbreak. 1. Recognizing patterns of blame. One of the easiest ways to gauge someone's emotional maturity is by observing how they talk about their past relationships. When a person blames their ex entirely for the breakup, it might initially seem like they're being honest. However, a deeper look often reveals something more telling: a lack of self-awareness and reflection. Blaming others without taking any responsibility is a significant red flag. It indicates they may not have learned from their past experiences and could be stuck in a cycle of pointing fingers instead of introspection. Take Elizabeth Gilbert's reflections in Eat, Pray, Love. In her memoir, she doesn't simply point fingers at her partner for the failure of their marriage. Instead, she takes a balanced approach, acknowledging her dissatisfaction and her role in the dynamic. This kind of introspection is rare, but absolutely essential for personal growth. It shows a willingness to take accountability, a trait that's crucial in any healthy relationship. Now, consider dating someone who's constantly bad-mouthing their ex. What does that reveal about their ability to handle conflict or communicate effectively? If they haven't taken time to acknowledge their part in the breakdown of the relationship, they're likely to repeat the same mistakes. A more mature response to the question, "What went wrong?" might sound like this: "I realized I needed to communicate my needs more effectively." Such a response doesn't just show emotional growth, but also demonstrates a commitment to improving themselves. Patterns of blame often lead to unresolved issues, which can spill into future relationships. By recognizing these patterns early on, you can avoid entangling yourself in dynamics where growth and accountability are absent. Emotional maturity starts with self-awareness, and that's what you should be looking for. 2. Relationships are a two-way street. No relationship ends solely because of one person. Relationships are partnerships, and when things go wrong, it's often due to contributions from both sides. A good metaphor for this is driving a car. Imagine you're steering, and your partner is the co-driver. If the car crashes, it's not just about who was at the wheel. It's also about the directions being given. This shared responsibility is a cornerstone of mature, healthy relationships. In The Road Less Traveled by Monsieur Scott Peck, the author emphasizes that love isn't just a feeling, it's an act of will. Love requires conscious effort from both partners to thrive. When someone fails to recognize their part in a breakup and portrays themselves as the victim, it's a sign that they may struggle to grow emotionally. This lack of accountability can make it difficult for them to engage in a balanced and equal partnership in the future. When evaluating a potential partner, ask yourself, do they view relationships as a partnership, or do they see themselves as someone who's always wronged? A person who understands that relationships are a two-way street will often describe their past experiences in a way that highlights shared responsibility. For instance, instead of saying, "they were selfish," a more reflective response would be, "we both had different priorities, and I could have communicated my needs better." This perspective shows maturity and a willingness to learn from the past. It also demonstrates their ability to engage in open, honest communication, a crucial ingredient for any successful relationship. Ultimately, Relationships thrive when both individuals are willing to contribute, take responsibility, and grow together. Without this mindset, any future relationship is bound to hit the same roadblocks. 3. Unpacking emotional baggage. Imagine you're packing for a trip, but instead of carefully selecting what you need, you throw in everything: old clothes, broken gadgets, and random junk. When you arrive, the clutter makes it hard to enjoy your journey. Relationships work the same way. If someone hasn't dealt with their emotional baggage, it will inevitably affect their ability to fully engage in a new relationship. Unresolved baggage often shows up in subtle ways. A person might speak negatively about their ex, hold on to resentment, or avoid discussing their past altogether. These behaviors are signs that they haven't fully healed. For example, if someone casually mentions, "My ex was a narcissist," it's worth exploring further. Ask them what steps they've taken to heal. Have they sought therapy, journaled to process their emotions, or engaged in self-improvement activities? Their response can reveal whether they've taken proactive steps to move forward or are still stuck in the past. I once knew someone who dealt with a painful breakup by climbing a literal mountain. Every step felt like a metaphor for letting go of old wounds and moving toward a fresh start. Whether it's therapy, exercise, or a creative outlet, taking action to address emotional baggage is crucial. On the flip side, if someone brushes off the topic or says, "I just avoid thinking about it," that's a red flag. Avoidance isn't healing. It's just postponing the inevitable. Emotional baggage doesn't disappear on its own. For a relationship to thrive, both partners need to come to the table with clarity, self-awareness, and a willingness to leave the past where it belongs, in the rearview mirror. 4. The power of self-reflection. Self-reflection is a game changer when it comes to emotional maturity. Think of it as tidying up your home. You uncover hidden treasures, face the clutter you've been avoiding, and create a space that's cleaner and more inviting. Similarly, someone who takes time to reflect on their past relationships is better equipped to grow and improve. A person who says, "I realized I was too controlling in my last relationship," shows they've taken a hard look at their actions and are willing to take responsibility. This level of self-awareness is rare, but incredibly valuable in a partner. It's not just about admitting mistakes, it's about learning from them and applying those lessons moving forward. I had a friend who, after a tough breakup, turned to meditation. During one session, he had a profound realization. He'd been prioritizing his partner's needs at the expense of his own. This epiphany led him to set healthier boundaries in future relationships. Stories like this remind me of Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning, where he discusses finding purpose even in the midst of struggle. Growth often comes from these moments of clarity. A lack of self-reflection, on the other hand, can be a significant red flag. If someone consistently blames others without examining their own behavior, it's unlikely they've grown from their experiences. In relationships, this can lead to repeated patterns and unresolved issues. Ultimately, a partner who engages in self-reflection is like a diamond, polished and refined through pressure. They've faced their challenges head-on, learned valuable lessons, and are better prepared to build a healthy and fulfilling relationship. 5. Asking the tough questions. Asking someone about their past relationships isn't just casual conversation, it's a window into their emotional depth and maturity. The key lies not only in their answers, but in how they respond. Tough questions can bring out honesty, self-awareness, and vulnerability in a way that simple small talk cannot. For example, asking someone why their last relationship ended might elicit two very different types of responses. A mature answer might sound like, "We wanted different things, and I realized I needed to communicate better." This response shows introspection and a willingness to take accountability. In contrast, an answer like, "He was a jerk," without further explanation, can reveal a lack of depth or reflection. One particularly powerful question to ask is, "What do you think your ex would say about you?" This flips the narrative and challenges them to view the relationship from a different perspective. It's not about assigning blame, it's about seeing if they've thought critically about their role and taken steps to grow. A friend of mine once shared how her perspective shifted after being asked this exact question. Initially defensive, she eventually realized it was an opportunity to examine her actions. This led her to acknowledge some of her own patterns and make meaningful changes moving forward. 6. Emotional resilience and healing continued. Emotional resilience is the ability to bounce back from life's challenges while learning and growing from them. In the context of relationships, resilience plays a critical role. It's not just about surviving heartbreak, it's about thriving afterward, armed with new insights and a renewed sense of self. Healing is an active process, and those who embrace it demonstrate a readiness for healthy future connections. Let's explore an example. Someone who has experienced betrayal in the past. A resilient individual won't merely dwell on the pain, they'll seek understanding, perhaps through therapy, journaling, or meaningful conversations with trusted friends. They'll also find ways to rebuild their trust in others, even if it takes time. This shows that they're not letting their past define their future. On the flip side, someone who hasn't embraced the healing process might carry unresolved anger, bitterness, or fear into their next relationship. This unprocessed baggage can manifest as mistrust, jealousy, or an inability to fully open up. While we all have scars, it's essential to partner with someone who has worked on turning their wounds into wisdom. Healing doesn't happen overnight, nor is it always straightforward. But the key lies in effort and intention. One person I knew joined a hiking group after their divorce, using the activity as a way to reconnect with themselves and build new positive experiences. Their journey wasn't just about moving forward, it was about doing so with purpose and hope. A partner who demonstrates emotional resilience and an active approach to healing is a rare gem. They're not just surviving life's storms, they're growing stronger through them. And that strength will serve as a foundation for a relationship built on trust, understanding, and mutual support. 7. Building emotional readiness. Together. Emotional readiness is a journey, not a destination. It's the state of being prepared to navigate the complexities of a relationship with openness, accountability, and maturity. While it's essential to recognize these qualities in a partner, it's equally important to cultivate them within yourself. After all, relationships are a mirror, reflecting both our strengths and areas for growth. One of the hallmarks of emotional readiness is the ability to communicate effectively. This means not just expressing your thoughts and feelings, but also listening deeply and empathetically. A partner who values communication will approach conflicts as opportunities for resolution, rather than as battlegrounds. They'll seek to understand and be understood, fostering a sense of safety and connection. Another aspect of emotional readiness is the willingness to embrace vulnerability. Being open about your fears, dreams, and past experiences requires courage, but it's the foundation of genuine intimacy. A mature partner won't weaponize your vulnerability. Instead, they'll cherish it as a sign of trust. Finally, emotional readiness involves a commitment to growth, both as individuals and as a couple. This might mean attending therapy, reading self-help books, or simply having honest conversations about your shared goals and values. A relationship is a partnership, and the strongest ones are built on a mutual desire to grow together. As you navigate the journey of emotional readiness, remember Marcus Aurelius's timeless wisdom. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Apply this to your relationships. Strive to embody the qualities you seek in a partner, and you'll naturally attract someone who's ready to grow alongside you. Every relationship has its challenges, but the key to a fulfilling partnership lies in emotional maturity and a shared commitment to growth. By asking the tough questions, recognizing patterns, and prioritizing self-awareness, you can identify a partner who's ready for something real. The next time you're getting to know someone, Don't shy away from exploring their past. Listen not just to their words, but to the depth of their reflections. Pay attention to how they handle accountability, growth, and vulnerability. Remember, you're not just seeking a partner. You're building a foundation for a future filled with trust, understanding, and love. You deserve a relationship that inspires and challenges you to be your best self. So, take the lessons from today's discussion and apply them to your own journey. Emotional readiness isn't just about finding the right person, it's about becoming the right person too.